Sunday evening, just a simple market game plan for the upcoming week. As you guys know, if I'm ever going to be placing trades, I need to set up a predefined game plan before I get in those trades. And that's what you're seeing today. It's just kind of the thoughts going through my head before I put on any positions for the upcoming week. Now, I am starting this week with a position already put on a small cap name that's NUAI that I took a position to close the week at the end of Friday's trading session. And what do I like about this chart? Well, we'll get there in a second. I'll tell you where I could forecast a move, but I'll also tell you where I'll be limiting and protecting my capital on that trade with NUAI. As far as the broad market goes, guys, you know I like the SPY and QQQ, breaking them down from a big picture perspective. And these charts don't have to they don't have to go anywhere. In fact, I would be welcoming these charts to move sideways and to kind of drift into a consolidation between the highs and the lows of this recent range. That would be 740 to 700 on QQQ and SPY, would be healthy contraction, consolidation, and could potentially set us up for a stronger leg up to end the year. I'm patient. I understand that it's June, it's the dead of summer coming up, and we don't really have any major earnings and really, any expected news catalysts until the end of July and into early August. So I'm patient. I'm comfortable with sizing minimal and just kind of getting my, exposure, keeping my exposure down until the broad market sets up. Same thing with SPY. I see a, healthy range being anything contracting down to that 50-day moving average. If we were to break below 720 on SPY, would certainly have to reevaluate the game plan from there. The only two trades that really stick out to me and fit the criteria for potential A-plus setups this week, number one is MU. Guys, is Micron Technology, a semiconductor name that's just been nearing a parabolic rally. Now, 2 weeks ago, I would say this name was parabolic. And it was setting up the core criteria for an A-plus blow-off short trade. And any of you guys that have been in my Discord that have watched my videos in the past, you know what I mean when I talk about a blow-off short trade. In fact, it has become kind of my go-to when volatility is up. This is one of my favorite trades. The A-plus blow-off short. The criteria for an A-plus setup is we want to see a chart that's extremely extended from the 50-day. We want to see something that is due for some mean reversion, some pullback, just some, falling back to the average, the way that it usually trades. And when you picture a stock that's so extended, it's so stretched, right? It's like the watermelon where you keep putting the rubber bands over it, one after another, after another, after another. Eventually, however many you have to put on there, it gets to 600, 650, it's due to snap back. It's due for some mean reversion. And that watermelon goes, blowing up all over the room. That's the trade I'm looking to capitalize on MU. I've got to say, last week, it did exactly what I was hoping it would do, which is continue higher and set up another potential downside opportunity. Now, extension from the 50-day moving average, we're over 50% extended. You're looking at a stock that's, trading at 1100 while the 50 days trading at 700. Not the best at math, but I do know that that's north of 50%. And that's a very, that's a very healthy number right there, guys, that you're looking at. Now, the other criteria is extension from the Bollinger Band. We want to see opens and closes outside of this green line. Now, preferably, I'd like to see the green line rising whenever we have these opens and closes above, kind of like it was doing here. Right now we've kind of got a flat top on the green Bollinger Band. But tomorrow, if we were to open up, if we gap up tomorrow, my eyes are on MU, guys, for looking for a crack below opening range to take some shorts on MU and ride this thing down. I could just picture a volatile move to the downside on MU. So we've got, we're testing the upper range of the Bollinger Band. We've got the 50-day moving average extension. The other criteria we want to see is multiple gaps up in price. And in this most recent leg up, we've had one, we've had two, and then potentially if we get tomorrow's trading to gap up, it wouldn't be A plus, simply because that Bollinger Band's kind of flat topped. We want to see it kind of trading upward like it was doing here, but it would definitely be in that B plus to A minus tier for a short trade on MU. I took a stab at it 2 weeks ago. I was actually short on this close. I was short on this close. And then the one day that it gapped down, I was not short. So I got paper cuts, took a couple small losses, and watched my $1,400 position trade at $14K in a span of just 2 downside days. You know, the options were absolutely perfect on this Friday candle if you were able to hold. But I wasn't. I got just a little bit unlucky with timing, but again, I'm fortunate that it's trading back up here and potentially setting up again. NUAI, this is my favorite small cap setup. Why am I trading it? Well, I'm trading it because it's got this recent stair-step action above the 50-day, and it's moving into a key inflection point of $6.50 here. But I'm mainly trading it because the strong close on Friday, supported by a pretty good amount of volume. For those of you that are familiar with the RGTI trade, well, here, I'll show you guys. From last summer, RGTI set up a very similar kind of formation here. Right here. This is what I'm looking at. The strong move up and the sideways consolidation on the 50-day. A 50-day that starts to kind of trend in the upward direction. That's where I look to capitalize on breaks above inflection points. Now, is NUAI ready, absolutely ready to pop off? You know, I don't think it is yet. That's why my sizing is really relatively small compared to how I'd size into an A plus setup. I also don't think the broad market is super conducive to sizing into an A plus trade. This is my favorite setup out there in the market. It's got decent short interest, 11%. Shorts only have a day to cover, which tells me that if this, thing is to gain some steam, I could picture it squeezing. I really could. And I'm just playing the simple shares of the stock. I'm not in any options, but I'm size small. I'd like to see us actually contract some more and kind of set up like RGTI did back here. Where it kind of fake people out and then it consolidates even tighter. It kind of fakes people out again, it consolidates tighter, and it just keeps stair-stepping its way up to a key inflection break before it blows off and gains a head of steam. That's what I'd like to see. Have a small position in NUAI, nothing crazy. If MU gaps up tomorrow, I will absolutely be looking to trade some sort of breakdown above the opening range, whether that's a 5-minute candle, whether that's the pre-market range, or maybe the first 15-minute bar. Just gonna have to keep an eye on it. But if it gaps up, 4, 5, 6% tomorrow, there'll be a lot of eyes on MU to put in the potential big volume downside gap fill type of trade. That's all I got, guys. I'm really looking forward to, again, staying patient until next earnings season, potentially seeing SPY and QQQ kind of consolidate, contract here before we have another leg, either up or we break down and we catch some trades to the downside. Those are the main trade thesis that I have for you guys. And like always, stay safe out there. And I'll talk to you guys later on in the week. Peace.